What's up, boys?
GM.
How goes it?
Talk to me nice. What's going on?
Talk to me dirty.
You're making quite the comeback, Marty. You almost at 2,500 now?
Something like that. We did like 2,000 in 2 days. So that means I only have 8 more days left, right? To get back to 10K.
Mm-hmm. You're fired.
Good.
Yeah. I told my wife that. I was like, if I don't get back to at least 1,000 in a couple days, I'm getting fired. For sure. Who wants to talk to a 300, follower account,
Hey, that's what alpha is, okay?
When I found
Seriously.
when I created my alt account, Horny, it was around 300 followers.
That's the CEO of Premia, right?
That's what it says. That's what the Discord says.
Discord. He's got the tag.
Amazing.
Yeah. If you have any inquiries at all, please direct them directly to Horny.
Yeah, VX Horny pays my bills. Service. He pays my checks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pays all of our checks.
DK, my thesis on this is that, if you it's a thesis around psyops and memetics that, if you call someone the CEO and you get enough people to call them the CEO at a workplace and people respect them as the CEO, then who's really the CEO? The guy that's getting paid the CEO salary or the one that everyone comes to and respects as the CEO? Like money might not matter, right?
Sure, right?
No, but he is the CEO, though.
Yeah, but he is. That's the problem.
In his case, he is the CEO.
I saw his card. It said CEO.
Yeah, it had that bone. It was bone colored too, actually.
Was it more like say IO or something? A little French, it rolled off the tongue nice,
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't CEO. Yeah, it wasn't that hard on the pronunciation.
Yeah, I think it had one of those accents.
Mm-hmm. And then it just said like Chief Baguette Officer or something silly.
Baguette Officer. That's actually really valuable. I know people that will pay top dollar to learn how to make some of the baguettes, French bread from over in Europe, Asia, here in America. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's a black market trade.
We were in Paris for a month, and it was so funny. It would be like pissing rain. It would be cold as shit. And these guys girls, kids, whatever, would go into the bakery, walk out with just a straight baguette and not warm, not nothing, just eat a fucking cold, hard baguette. Like, I was like, Jesus Christ, guys, you guys made it so you could eat cold baguettes with no cheese, no nothing, just straight baguette to the mouth.
That's like the equivalent of the American that goes into the corner shop deli and walks out with a stick of cookie dough and just eats the cookie dough on the way home.
There was a girl I went to school with, no joke. She would steal sticks of butter from her parents' fridge or from her fridge and would eat sticks of butter for lunch. This is not a joke.
I got two stories, actually. I had a dog that one time that absolutely loved to eat butter, just raw butter. But so I lived in, the other story is unrelated. I lived in Poland, and there were a bunch of expats when I lived in Poland. And there was this one British girl who, we couldn't read Polish, right? And she had gotten something that she found that she really liked, and she thought it was a tomato soup. And every day she would come in and she would take the tomato soup and warm it up and eat it. And then after like the fifth day in a row of her doing that, one of her coworkers was like, that's marinara sauce, right? She had marinara sauce.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck.
And so her whole team let her just like sit there and eat warm marinara sauce for lunch for a whole week.
Fuck, Jesus Christ. What's the Spanish one? The cold tomato soup? I'm not that cultured. I forget the name. Gazpacho or something.
Gazpacho.
Yeah. It's not like it was that. It was just straight marinara sauce warmed up. That's fucking gross. Oh, so terrible.
That's funny. That's my favorite story. The fact
you
that
could
her whole
just
team
drive
like let her
Poland,
do it for a week, just thought she was weird. The weird Brit.
Oh, well, they
Yeah,
do eat some fucking
fucking
weird
drunk
shit.
on Euro.
All right. Let's get into some stuff today. We'll start it off early and we'll roll into things. I know that we had talked about. I'm only bringing this up because we had talked about it in the past. That Take-Two, who also owns Rockstar, the new Grand Theft Auto. The play is that it's going to have some either persistent universe elements or some part, or maybe it's just the in-game items is going to be like Web3 native. They're going to be like NFTs or something. I know. We talk about gaming a decent amount on here, considering that. Well, Cozy's an avid gamer. I used to definitely had a problem.
I have a small problem.
Yeah, I know.
What's the new one that came out? Starlink, Starfield. What is it called?
I think is it out yet, or it comes out this week?
Somebody said if you have the premium, you can play
It's
today.
in the open access already.
That's what it says.
Early access.
Starfield. Sorry, guys. Starfield. So, on my new 49-inch monitor, I'm sure it would look amazing, DK.
It's supposed to be really good, but
Bethesda's been working on it for so long, and I mean, finally get it out the door. They can go back to working on.
I'm gonna make
My
videos.
Elder Scrolls.
And everyone's gonna play them. Who's laughing now? It's like my favorite.
You know which one I tried to get into a lot? I really tried to get into that Elden Ring, and I really tried, and everybody said it was so amazing, and I fucking really tried. I probably did like 20 to 50 hours. I really fucking tried, and I couldn't just. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is just like too much. I don't have the time for this shit.
Have you played the Baldur's Gate yet?
Oh God, Hal from Bybit made me fucking download that game, and I got hooked a little bit too. So
I'm waiting until we push. I'm waiting until we push V3 because I know that like I'll just disappear.
Yeah, like fuck, it's just you, right? So it's just you. So it's you against the game. So it's a little time consuming. Hal said he spent like 20 to 30 hours per stage. I know it's not called stage, but per section. Oh, like, oh Jesus Christ. That's yeah, you're like 100 hours into the game, right?
Did you see like all the like major game publishers, game dev publishers came out and they're like, you shouldn't expect this to be the norm going forward. They're like, you're setting your expectations too high if you think games like this is going to be the norm going forward. Because like it's just a well done game, well polished game. They've been working on it for a long time, obviously, but
they said that about Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk came out and then people were like, this is a buggy release.
That's my point. Like all of the insider reviews, developer reviews, and everything about Cyberpunk, if you remember, were like, this is the best fucking game to have ever been created. 10 of 10s.
I don't remember that. I remember it being a crash and burn when it came out.
That was when it came out to the public, but prior.
I remember 10 out of 10.
Baldur's Gate's been out for a month now,
and it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Our field has not, though.
Oh yeah. Who knows? I mean, we'll find out soon if early access people are there. I mean, Bethesda botched the last Fallout release, 76.
Yeah, it was really bad. All the early access people have been saying that Starfield is like, the best fucking thing to ever be created. All the players look amazing. The gameplay is great. And the only part that makes me worried is that it is like across the board that this game is phenomenal. And that is exactly how it was when Cyberpunk was about to come out. And then it came out and everyone was like, what the fuck is this? So
does it make Star Citizen dead in the water? I was like one of the first. I think I was part of the first Kickstarter campaign of Star Citizen like 10 years ago, and it's still it's still in early access.
I don't know about dead in the water, but it definitely is. It might kill it because there won't be enough people to like populate games for you.
Yeah,
like that's what happened to what was it? There was a game I used to play a lot called Crisis. And Crisis 2 was like really, really good. At least I thought it was. And then when the newer kind of first-person shooter games came out, it eventually just died off because there weren't enough people to populate games. Yeah.
We can stop.
Anyway, I am
That covers our video game section for the week. No.
And if anyone else who's a terminally online video game junkie wants to play Fortnite, let me know.
Cozy
I have a
pays.
terrible Fortnite addiction.
I know. I need to start putting restrictions on your time allowed played per day.
I don't play until the kids are in bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. So in the DAO governance world, we started to see a few of these pop up, like the meta governance, like the groups that they're professional DAO participants. What are your thoughts on that? We have one. We have Steakhouse. We have Lit from Steakhouse.
I'm surprised that it hasn't been more like commonplace. Like if you think of let's say like something like Arbitrum, because the one thing I was reading was mentioning how Uniswap was like going to take part in Arbitrum governance or something. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Like you can think of Uniswap as, like a business in the nation state of Arbitrum, right? Or a corporation in the nation state of Arbitrum. And if they're generating revenue for Arbitrum and they're pushing volume on Arbitrum, then it only makes sense that, since they're doing a large part of their commerce there, that they would participate in the governance there. So
yeah, I mean, that's our take. We got like 2 million now under 2 million ARB under myself as a delegate.
Yeah.
I mean, I represent premium, but yeah, we have a decent amount. I mean, there hasn't been too much going on in the governance space really, but I can see things starting to pick up. And that leads into the real point that we wanted to get at, though, is Arbitrum Stylus.
Yeah.
What are our initial thoughts on Arbitrum Stylus?
I mean, I haven't used it.
Yeah, I know, but like just the concept.
The concept.
Like I haven't gotten to the technicals, but the concept is like
I'm a little retarded, so if you could just give me the too long didn't read.
Yeah,
I'm
so
been out of the loop.
The quick and dirty is you got a lot of these protocols like Solana that have spent a lot of time in making a way in which that Ethereum developers can launch their protocols on Solana, right? Because Solana natively, you write your smart contracts in Rust, which is a programming language. However, like Ethereum-based EVM chains, you use Solidity, or Viper, which is a Python implementation. And so, what Arbitrum has done is the next upgrade of this. I could be getting some of this technicals wrong, but the next right now, Arbitrum Nitro is like the current version of Arbitrum. The next version of Arbitrum, which is the upgrade of Nitro, will allow for WebAssembly smart contracts. So you can write in Rust, you can write in, I think, C++.
C++.
Yeah. So like you can like Rust right now is blazingly fast. If you know Rust, and there's a guy that does YouTube videos that does that. Anyways, it's blazingly fast. It's ridiculously fast in execution speed. You have the Paradigm guys that are building Reth, which is an ETH client that runs on Rust. But now, like one of the biggest draws of Solana was that you could write, your code base in Rust and deploy in Solana. And that was one of the barriers to entry, or at least the discussed barriers to entry of like you have all these devs that are starting to move towards Rust development. There's a lot of people that are starting to build out that skill set because of how fast it executes. And now, so Arbitrum Stylus allows for these. So it's kind of reverse of what we saw of like these different chains becoming EVM compatible, right? So you saw it with Polkadot having like their implementations, which you could deploy your smart contracts and plug into Polkadot. You saw it with the Cosmos. You saw it with Solana, which is like, I don't think Solana is actually live yet, but they're like just done with the interpreter, the compiler that allows you to take a smart contract in Solidity and then deploy it on Solana. And so Arbitrum is like, record scratch we're going to go inverse. So now it's the first EVM compatible can support both the Solidity written smart contract, but then also a Rust C++ written smart contract.
Okay, and what is it going to take for anybody to talk to any chain in any language? Like, wouldn't that seem easier?
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of the first step, right? Because like there are a lot of constraints at the EVM level. However, having like this interoperability at the compiler level to be executed on Arbitrum stylus with different code bases is pretty interesting. Anyways, one of the draws of Solana was that they're attracting all these Rust developers. And now, if you're a Rust developer and you want to join the Ethereum ecosystem, or if you're a Solana developer and you want to deploy your product on an EVM compatible chain, because maybe the volume and the user base and all that jazz of Solana has kind of died down since post FTX. This is a good opportunity to do that.
Careful there, DK. Community's
well, you can't cancel me, so I can say it. But no, just kidding. The whole FTX thing is like Alameda still has a bunch of allocations and unlocks of Solana, so you're always dealing with this overheads of selling pressure or unlocks, whatever you want to call it. They've probably tried to hedge that out as much as they possibly can, but I don't know. You never know. Those guys were supposed to be the smartest ones in the room. They ended up being the most retarded. So, moving forward, like all the devs are just going to go where the users are, or they should, right? If I was a dev, I would go to where the users are. Right now, it seems like Solana, Cosmos, Aptos, all of this crap. Nobody's building on it, right? They're either on Ethereum or Arbitrum. I've heard some optimism stuff, but less and less lately. So it's going to be an interesting development to see. Devs should go where they're treated best.
Like imagine, you're a Rust developer and you want to get into developing things for blockchains, but your only option at the moment was developing on Solana. And for you, like maybe the user base you're looking for is an Ethereum user base. Now you have an easy way to do that.
I think this also brings up a call to action for especially layer 2 protocol lab type groups, ones that run a layer 2 like an off chain or OP labs. Is I feel like they don't do enough courting of app developers. Like they don't do enough of, you should build solely on my chain because I'm going to give you this access or this incentive. In the past, everything was like popping up so fast, and like you have this allure of like the airdrop. So if you're building, on this chain, they have the airdrop. But now that like a lot of these tokens have been allocated, I'm not concerned, but it's interesting to me that we haven't seen that happen yet.
Customer retention sprint.
Yeah, exactly. Like, where are these BD guys that are supposed to be getting? So, like when remember when Avalanche launched, like they had a pretty strong BD department and getting people to move and build on Avalanche. And you only really saw that with Avalanche, I feel like. And now,
Polygon's BD team is all over it.
Polygon has always had a great BD team. Absolutely, I agree. But like, I feel like it's non-existent in the Arbitrum space. It's non-existent in the Optimism space. You got like the grants where you can go out and court them, but it's not like they're not courting the best app developers, I don't think.
Or you're saying like what I've seen is it's more on like protocol relationship basis. Like if a protocol is wanting to build on one of those L2s, then they keep like an open line of communication and relationship, and we'll check in. But I see what you're saying. Like, there's no.
I'll be straight up. But what I want to see is stuff like, we'll cover your audit costs, right? Like, or we'll cover you know, we'll put some money where our mouth is and help you to build and support you on our chain. Like, I definitely think that we're going to see this in the layer 0 wars, right? Like the layer 0 and the axolars and the wormholes. Like, I already kind of feel it. I'm just surprised we haven't seen it in the L2 space yet. And maybe they're too focused, or maybe that they're just slow, because like layer 2 wars are like starting to heat up, right? Like, and it's going to become, I think it's going to become more tribal, or people are going to like go where they're getting supported most, and you're going to lose like what if like Arbitrum lost like GMX, right? Like,
I think it's less about it's kind of a multi-layered problem, right? Because the protocol's not going to move if their users are wanting to stay somewhere, and the incentives that an L2 or an L1 are giving to the protocol don't necessarily translate to positive sum for the users in a way that they feel that they've received something in which it makes it worthwhile to stay one place over the other.
what about in a world where like
It could
A, the
just
users don't care, or B, the cost of what we saw like during mercenary capital days is so minimal that they're going where, you know, they're going where the friend tags are. They're going where the user doesn't really care, right? Like the user doesn't care, or do they even know?
Yeah, at that time it was just you go wherever the yield is and wherever something new is popping up. There wasn't the sticky capital was like funds and whales that were like tied to a protocol. And it seemed like everyone else just kind of, as soon as something new popped up, you know, you watch capital retreat quickly from one chain, enter the next chain, and, you know, sit there for maybe a week before it goes somewhere else. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I definitely have seen and heard of some of that taking place in like the bridging and messaging layer. So yeah, I think it'll probably become an item that they start looking at in the L2 L1 world as well. I don't think that um, you know, messaging layer protocols are the only ones that are going to be fighting for exclusivity.
Yeah, because
volumetrics
I
and stuff like that.
I can see a world in which like really good protocol devs and dev groups start to syndicate and start like grouping up together and being like, okay, now kind of unionize and be like, okay, now that we're acting as a group, we're going to move as a group. There's a lot of like meta bureaucratics that I could see happening in the medium term, especially as like the layer 2 stuff really starts to come up to speed.
You don't want to anger the vol cabal.
Exactly, dude. We're gonna start syndicating. We're gonna syndicate towards market makers. We're gonna syndicate towards layer 2 dev groups. Anyways,
All right, market stuff. Let's see. Ethereum staking services have agreed to self-imposed limit of 22% of all validators.
you know what? Okay,
Major entities would need to include for the chain to reach finalization.
I could be getting this wrong, but I'm pretty sure Lido's at 33% now. And Lido raised a governance vote saying should they agree to the self-imposed limit, and they voted 97% no.
Good. It's commie behavior.
It's like that's like the U.S. government with
this protocol is too successful in finding their product market fit, and not enough competitors have spun up to compete efficiently. So let's make a rule that they can't be as successful as they are.
Well, it's like, the U.S. does this in the United Nations, where like the entire United Nations will agree on something. The U.S. will be like, "Nope, I'm not going to do that." And that's kind of how it's playing out right now. I mean, I'm fine. I like my only concern is if the Ethereum Foundation decides to push forward some sort of restriction in which that they don't allow it to happen at the fundamental level.
We'd all go back to ETC. That'd kill Ethereum.
I mean, isn't Cosmos doing this right now?
Who uses?
Who's Cosmos? No, just kidding.
Cosmos has like some of the best tech and like no like real user base. There are tons of users, you know, like, so I'm trying to think of the best way to relay it, but like
it has great tech. It like has strong tribal maximalism, and they're pretty much always like 6 months to a year in front of Ethereum in time, like in terms of the challenges that they're facing, whether it be staking or like whatever. They're like, their cycles happen so much faster than Ethereum, and they're always like they figure out how to solve these problems and like the best method, best path forward. And then Ethereum just kind of gets the piggyback off of like them iterating through those use cases.
Yeah, I think doing stuff like that is like a terrible idea. Like setting, if the Ethereum, I should clarify, if the Ethereum Foundation were to come in and try to, set a protocol rule that, no meta protocol can, control more than X% of the network. It's just dumb. It's on the community to decentralize this. Like, it's not, it's not for some central authority to come in and say like how it should be. That completely destroys the ideas of having a decentralized network. So yeah, I think it's commie behavior.
Yeah, I mean, I am not concerned with how Lido operates. Like, I get the concern, and I get that we're supposed to be in a, like, it should be like trustless in nature, so we shouldn't have to even have that discussion. But yeah, I agree. Forced restrictions is going to limit innovation.
I feel like these people have never looked at the Bitcoin hash distribution or like mining pools in the past to like understand how how control is dispersed and like who controls all those groups. Like it's just a silly conversation to have. All right, what else? Got the Cancun upgrade developed.
Yeah, Cancun
contract.
All right, let's talk proto-dink sharding real quick. Greatest name, first off. No, proto-dink sharding. So one thing that again, and we've had this discussion multiple times about app chains, is that I don't really get about why people are kind of launching their own app chains if they don't have PMF or like significant user groups that are willing to follow them, like a DYDX. But with the costs coming down of block space and with I mean, it's not going to really introduce better throughput because there's only so many different like blob components that can go through per block. I think it's like 10 blob components or whatever. However, it's going to reduce the costs on layer 2s by like 10x. And so like there's really no reason to go app chain because you're going to be able to get all the benefits of the composability of being on a layer 2, but then still like reduce the costs by a significant amount. So we're going to see all these groups that went app chain come back. But nonetheless, I did want to talk about this a little bit yesterday. So we have layer 2 costs coming down 10x.
Yeah.
Right. Ethereum is ultrasound money. Right. So right, we're getting to a point where it, the monetary policy of Ethereum looks pretty good on paper, especially when volumes go up. It's burning more than it's minting. We got rates probably at their peak. right? Goldman today, I think it was today, put out that they think that they're going to start reducing rates at like either end of Q1 or Q2 of next year. We got, election year, which is typically bullish for markets for risk. Well, it depends on who wins. I take that back. Is now the best time if you were to start to enter the crypto sphere? I think like right now is like a pretty good macro time to be entering, into the crypto sphere if you're new. If you're looking at just macro components, obviously not financial advice, but it seems.
I saw a deck. Sorry to cut you off. I saw a deck that told me when the bull market was going to start and when it was going to end. So according to their Series B raise, it's going to be next summer. And mind you, they need $70 million to get this done or something insane. And it's next June, and it will end in December 2025, exactly in December, and it will start next June. So if you're looking to get into the crypto space, then now is the time. Or next year, you have to get in by June, or you're just gonna miss it. Next June.
Well, yeah, like so. What? So is June gonna be the bottom, or is it like now a good time, and June is when things are gonna really start picking up?
I was told
DK
that they needed $70 million now to prepare for June. So we must be bottoming.
Okay. So Nostradamus Fund, it's written in stone now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you talk with Gary, the numbers guy, by chance? Is that who sent you this deck?
Gensler said we couldn't put it out on paper like that, so they just put it in one slide and let the viewer make their own assumption.
No, Gary, the numbers guy, is this. He's a numerology guy who does a lot of sports betting, and he was beefing with all the crypto people last year. It was really funny. He like leads the 3-3 movement on Twitter, and
nice.
He had some pretty wild predictions for like when Bitcoin was gonna top and bottom, and I'm pretty sure it was like wildly off.
Well, I mean, everything kind of plays into it because like we'll get the ETF approval in Jan probably. That's still my bet. We got halving in April. I mean, the Nostradamus Fund is looking. I mean, their one pagers sounds pretty good.
30 to 40 million venture round to get this done. We have 15 months to build everything. Summer 2024, next bull run starts to December 2025 is when it ends. So
what are they building? Tokenized condos?
Exactly.
Why does it end in December of 2025? So it's not going to be a super cycle?
It's not a super cycle because Zoo's not back yet, full force.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Super cycle never ended. If you thought super cycle was over, you should have gone into a coma.
Is it because
if you thought it was a meme, then get your money up, not your money up.
Like, why does it end in 2025? Is it because we've gotten
that's a good question. I can ask them.
Kind of tapers. Does the entire market go risk off?
I'm not sure. Actually, the chart just ends. Unfortunately, they didn't get that much insight.
They can only predict so far out.
Yeah. But all the ML and Python code only took them this far.
Yeah, I got it. So it's like it's kind of blurry. It's like they don't have the crystal ball doesn't quite tell them the reason why.
They need another 50 million in 2025 to predict.
Those H100s are getting expensive to predict.
I think it was the first day that we streamed. There was some news about this like NFT marketplace that was shutting down and that had raised like 50 million 2 years ago. And I was just cracking up like, what the fuck does an NFT platform who raises 50 million, like an NFT marketplace, how do you blow 50 million in less than 2 years?
They were prop trading NFTs.
Who are you paying? Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
You must have been buying Bored Apes
place
at the peak.
There was so much money flowing around at that point, right? Like people were spending like I don't know what was it like 300 ETH, 500 ETH on fidenzas. Like I've
Yep.
never heard the word
Um,
fidenza since.
You
Hey,
want one?
hey, Cozy, yeah, Cozy holds a few.
Oh, can I get a loan on one or what do they do now? They give you loans
Yeah,
under
you can say
collateralized.
them. I want to just find a very rich guy, obviously much richer than myself, who would like to
Uh-huh.
acquire the whole year one collection of art blocks, all of the rare ones included, just in one lot. It's very rare. I saved you all the work. You don't have to go through and collect this historic, uh,
Monumental.
priceless, yeah,
The
monumental
provenance is on
collection.
chain. A lot of them only have ever had one owner.
A lot of them, I am the only owner, and for others, I'm the second owner. And you could be
This
the
sounds
first,
like
the second, or the
something
third.
we should go to Sotheby's for. Christie's. We should go
You know,
back to the traditional
That's the
market.
plan, I think.
I had someone from Christie's follow me after I like commented about it and like was showcasing. I had like made fun of their gallery that they had for when they auctioned off some art blocks and stuff. So
You
I
should hit up
had
Cyber.
I had one of my designer friends make me like a really high quality version looking of the wall they had all of theirs on, but with mine in like nice frames and shit. And then I was like trolling them with that about it. So this guy followed me, and then there was some talk about, someone connecting me to get it on there or Pleaser DAO, like
Mm.
auctioning it or something. But that shit never, it's hard to get all that line up and go through. So yeah,
Yeah.
the
Cozy's
lot.
one of the few. I think how many? I think when we looked at it last, it was like there's like what 5 or 7 people with a
Yeah,
complete
there's not a
one-year
lot.
collection.
There's less than 10 of us in the world.
Yeah.
No big deal.
But what's a collection like that going for? Are we talking like a Yu-Gi-Oh Pokemon style collection, like
Well,
first editions?
end of 2021, it was quite a lot.
End of
Hmm.
2021, it was like over 600 ETH I could have got for it. Now maybe
Mm-hmm.
100. I don't know,
Well,
350 maybe you get
the
for it.
next super cycle should be 1,000.
It's the
What's
only
1,000 ETH at the top of the super cycle? Nothing.
4 million.
Exactly. Ain't much for a pimp. I used to do. It was so fun, dude. There was so much volume. We used to do 1,000 Bitcoin clip scalps, or sorry, 1,000 ETH clip scalps and 100 Bitcoin clips. It was so fun. There was so much liquidity. We could just get in and out of positions. There was buyers and sellers, so you could even limit out if you had some time. You could TWAP, hybrid TWAP out if you had a couple
There was
minutes.
enough liquidity on some of the DEX pools where, we could do that with 200-300 ETH at a time and it not move
Love
the
it.
price too much.
Miss those days. One day we'll come back.
Yeah. I
When
got
Sue comes back, that's the top.
me and some friends were playing in this book that was just FTX and a curve pool. I'm not going to say the ticker, but it was me and like maybe 3 or 4 other guys who had like decent, decent piles of inventory. And we were kind of just like playing against each other until it got listed on FTX. And the thing is, their books were like so empty and no one was trading there that the DEX market was pretty much controlling like that market. And you could see when there were like huge sells on the DEX market, their bot like totally wig out on FTX. Um, but one time I was trying to buy some and I sold like, I don't know, 300,000 worth of this token or something and like nuked it. And immediately it got like eaten up by all the other guys in the pool. And I had to buy back. So, I took a nice fat loss on that one. But
The
those were the
fun
days when you could
times.
afford that, when it didn't, fucking matter.
Oh, yeah, those are the good old times. Now we just give away hats and talk shit on Twitter.
Not really a loss, just they forced me to buy back at higher prices. Yeah, now we're in the hat shirt game, huh, Marty? All right, what else we got going on?
They're having
Oh, you know what? Let's
affairs.
talk about my favorite thing going on right now. BitBoy. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but BitBoy sent in a video to his former team to play for the world, where he talked about his not drug problem. He would say he wasn't addicted to drugs, but he was overusing diet pills and steroids and had an affair. And because he's a family brand, it's looking like that's more the reason why there was the department. But he's claimed he's coming back. He got his cape out of the closet, dusted it off. He's ready to make him a return.
Today's the first day for the rest of your life. It's a great day to make a comeback. I agree. What is he gonna start? I don't think he started a new channel, or he's still using his Ben coin. I mean, I get it. He was taken up with that fast paced life. You're creating meme coins, you're making a ton of money. You're spending a lot of time with your COO. Shit just happens. I get it. I mean, I feel for him.
You're snorting test off the back of a bus seat.
I've posted so many times. I'm like, his streams were just like straight Alex Jones style roid rages, right?
I know. I started enjoying them.
I know, me too.
For entertainment purposes. Like, I've never been a fan, but yeah, his.
He saved the crypto empire. He single-handedly caught SBF.
Were really funny. Yeah. I was enjoying that because I think I was actually in the Bahamas at the time when BitBoy was there also on his search. They weren't really letting you around that area, like that resort at the time. So I don't know how BitBoy knows some people.
Yeah, because wasn't BitBoy like hanging out by his Corolla or whatever?
Supposedly. It's probably just a random fucking Corolla he found. Like, roll the cameras! Roll the fucking cameras!
I liked Gabe's coverage better, honestly.
Oh, Gabriel?
when they sent Gabriel, didn't he do like a GoFundMe or something? He went on a 1-week vacation.
I saw this meme of him that he posted the other day, and I was like I would have cried in real life if like this was something he just like handed to me. But it was that like Norman Rockwell fucking meme that everyone posts, but instead of like the guy that's standing there, it was him shirtless. I couldn't stop laughing. It was just so fucking funny.
Yeah, the other day he like did a BitBoy thing. He was in his car, and I don't think he was wearing a shirt, and he had a piece of paper that had BitBoy's face on it. Why do you have that in your car? He's like in the grocery store parking lot, like his wife is like shopping. He's like doing a video in the car with BitBoy's face on it.
BitBoy was doing a video in his car with his own face on the shirt, you're saying?
No, Gabe. Gabe was pretending to be BitBoy.
Oh my god!
I can just imagine like
tolerate so much.
Being his wife, like having this like autistic husband. She's one of us for sure.
She's amazing. Protect her at all costs.
I know. Having to always record him.
Oh, that's really all we got on the docket. Marty, what else is going on? What's new? What have you been doing lately besides master classes and selling vol? Marty. I think he's gone.
All right. Well, We tried our best.
Dex. He's looking at Dex for $70 million condos on chain.
Mm-hmm. He's getting his allocation confirmed.
Marty, when are we dropping the masterclass? Should we just tell him when we're dropping it?
Did we drop it today?
Yeah, it's out. That's why I was fucking with him. Masterclass is out. For those of you who are not familiar, at Premia we have an academy. It's completely platform agnostic. Come on, learn about options, take some courses, take some quizzes. It's totally at your own time, your own pace. But the Don Bishop Magic Don Juan King Pimp has made a little masterclass that you can go and take there to master the risk in crypto options. Yeah, so that one
we have so many courses now.
Dude, it's crazy. Man, I think is there 10?
Dozens. No, I mean, in terms of actual courses, I don't know, but in terms of because there's like 5 classes to go into a course. We have like 40 now at least, I think. We got a lot. Anything you want to learn about options, we got it. And if you complete it, you get an NFT.
DeFi options, option basics, options concepts, option strategies, intermediate strategies, option strategies in practice, advanced option concepts, Marty's new masterclass. Yeah, there's a lot of shit on there. Yeah, if you don't have anything else, we'll wrap it on up.
Hope everyone has a great weekend.
Yeah.
We're planning to have Top Tick on Labor Day on Monday. He's gonna give us some he's gonna give us the alpha. He's gonna give us more of the trends. I think is what we'll cover with Top Tick. But
Top Tick
we always stay close to Top Tick. He's as like a researcher in the space, unparalleled for sure.
Definitely. And his background, given he has a TradFi background, he's very in tune with what's going on the macro side of things. And he's, I think, one of the most underrated, probably on-chain sleuths that there are. Always got a wealth of alpha to give. Yeah, so we'll see him on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, and that's a wrap.
Adios.